146 BC. Carthage. As Roman soldiers poured oil onto the greatest merchant city the world had ever seen, as flames consumed libraries holding 1,000 years of knowledge, General Scipio Aemilianus wept. Not from guilt. From relief. Because Rome wasn't just destroying a city. They were erasing a civilization so powerful, so advanced, that if the world ever discovered what the Phoenicians truly accomplished, Rome's entire legacy would crumble. Here's what they don't teach you in school. Before Rome. Before Greece reached its golden age. Before Alexander conquered anything, the Phoenicians had already built the most sophisticated trading network in human history. From their coastal cities in modern-day Lebanon, these seafaring merchants established colonies from Spain to North Africa, from Sicily to possibly the Americas. They invented the alphabet. Yes. The very letters forming the words on your screen right now. Every Western language traces back to Phoenician script. And Rome knew this. Which is precisely why they spent 3 brutal wars and over a century trying to wipe the Phoenicians from existence. But here's the mystery that haunts historians to this day: why? What did the Phoenicians know, what did they possess, that made Rome so desperate to erase them completely? To understand what Rome destroyed, you first need to understand what the Phoenicians built. Around 1200 BC, while most civilizations were recovering from the Bronze Age collapse, the Phoenicians were thriving. Their secret? They didn't conquer. They connected. While empires rose and fell fighting over land, the Phoenicians mastered something far more valuable: the sea. Their ships were technological marvels. Twin-hulled vessels that could sail at night using the stars. The Greeks called the North Star the Phoenician Star because these merchants navigated by it centuries before anyone else dared sail beyond sight of land. They reached Britain for tin. They circumnavigated Africa 2,000 years before Europeans. And some historians believe they crossed the Atlantic. Ancient Phoenician coins have been found in locations that shouldn't be possible. But that's not what made Rome afraid. What terrified Rome was something else entirely. Stop for a moment. Think about this. We're told Rome was the greatest empire of the ancient world. The foundation of Western civilization. But what if that's only true, because Rome made sure no one remembered the alternative? The Phoenicians didn't just trade goods. They traded ideas. Every port they established became a center of learning. Mathematics from Babylon. Astronomy from Egypt. Philosophy from a dozen cultures, all flowing through Phoenician networks. They created the first truly global economy. And their capital? Carthage. A city that by 300 BC had a population of over 700,000 people. Larger than Rome itself. With a harbor that could hold 220 warships and a merchant fleet of hundreds more. The Carthaginian constitution was so advanced that Aristotle himself studied it, calling it one of the best designed governments in the world. Rome wasn't fighting barbarians. Rome was fighting a civilization that might have been superior. But here's where it gets dark. Everything I've told you so far, that's just context. The real story, the one Rome spent centuries trying to bury, is about to begin. In 264 BC, Rome started the First Punic War. The excuse? A minor dispute over Sicily. The real reason? Rome had discovered something. Phoenician merchants weren't just trading silk and spices. They were trading secrets. Military secrets. Political secrets. Economic intelligence from every corner of the known world. The Phoenicians had built the ancient world's first intelligence network. They knew which empires were weak. Which kings could be bribed. Which trade routes were vulnerable. And they were selling this information to Rome's enemies. For the first time in history, a civilization had weaponized commerce itself. And Rome realized, as long as the Phoenicians existed, Rome would never be safe. The wars that followed were unlike anything the ancient world had seen. 3 Punic Wars. Over 100 years of conflict. The Phoenician general Hannibal Barca did something Rome never thought possible. He crossed the Alps with war elephants and brought the fight to Italian soil. For 15 years, he remained undefeated in Italy. 15 years. Rome lost 80,000 soldiers in a single day at the Battle of Cannae. The worst military defeat in Roman history. And here's what's crucial, Hannibal never had more than 40,000 men. The Phoenicians weren't winning through numbers. They were winning through knowledge. Superior tactics. Better intelligence. Advanced logistics. Rome was fighting an enemy that was simply smarter. And that's when Rome made a decision that would echo through history. They couldn't outthink the Phoenicians. So they would outdestroy them. Complete annihilation. Not just of Carthage, but of every trace that Phoenician civilization ever existed. Now I need you to understand something. What Rome did next wasn't war. It was genocide. Cultural genocide on a scale the ancient world had never witnessed. In 146 BC, Roman forces finally breached Carthage's walls. What followed defies description. The city burned for 17 consecutive days. 17 days. Roman soldiers went house to house. The entire population, between 150,000 and 200,000 people, were either killed or sold into slavery. Every single one. But Rome wasn't finished. They demolished every building. They tore up every road. They destroyed every statue, every monument, every inscription. And then, they salted the earth. They literally poisoned the ground so nothing would ever grow there again. They wanted the world to forget Carthage ever existed. But the destruction of Carthage? That was just the beginning of Rome's erasure campaign. Here's what Rome did that no one talks about. Over the next century, they systematically hunted down every Phoenician colony. Tyre, Sidon, Byblos. Every city that had once been part of the Phoenician network was absorbed, renamed, and stripped of its identity. Phoenician libraries were burned. Phoenician priests were executed. Phoenician merchants were forced to adopt Roman customs or die. The language itself was suppressed. Within 3 generations, no one spoke Phoenician anymore. And here's the revelation that closes our mystery: Rome rewrote history. Roman historians never acknowledged Phoenician achievements. The alphabet? Greeks invented it, they claimed. Navigation? Roman innovation. Trade networks? Roman genius. Every accomplishment of the Phoenicians was either credited to Rome, attributed to Greece, or simply erased. The greatest merchant civilization in human history was reduced to a footnote. A people who invented the foundation of Western literacy became those traders from the East. And for 2,000 years, the world believed Rome's version. Until now. So what does this mean for us today? Every time you read, every time you write, every text message you send, you're using technology invented by a people that history tried to erase. The Phoenicians built something that even total annihilation couldn't destroy, an idea. 22 letters that became the foundation of Greek, Latin, Arabic, Hebrew, and eventually English. Their legacy survived in the very tool their destroyers used to erase them. Rome won the war. But the Phoenicians won eternity. And perhaps that's the real lesson here. Empires can destroy cities. They can burn libraries. They can salt the earth. But they cannot destroy an idea whose time has come. 2,000 years later, we're finally remembering what Rome tried to make us forget. The question is, what else has history buried? What other civilizations are waiting to be rediscovered? If this video changed how you see ancient history, that subscribe button ensures you won't miss what we uncover next. Drop a comment. What other civilization do you think has been unfairly erased from history? Because next time, we're going deeper into the empires that time forgot. The Phoenicians were just the beginning.